So Betta Lemme, the first thing I need to ask you is, we're from South Africa. Is that how we pronounce it? I want to be perfectly right for this interview.
You are lovely. It's Betta Lemme. Yes.
Betta Lemme, amazing. And I want to first tell listeners who've only heard girls and had a frothy about it and been so excited about it, that Betta Lemme is super interesting because Italian descent, Canadian, maybe making absolutely epic, and this is where it resonates with me, European style dance music. Like when you listen to Betta Lemme, you're getting some Venga Boys samples sometimes. You're hearing like Stromae in Bambola, which I find massive. Like you're getting a little bit of Eiffel 65 on Cry. And Betta Lemme, I just want to know, firstly, what was your musical upbringing like, that you came out of it like Canadian of Italian descent, but with this hugely tasteful, on-point 21st century interpretation of European classic 90s dance music?
I'm just going to take everything you said and I'm going to apply it to my bio because that was brilliant. You basically just described my upbringing in music. It went from, I listened to a lot of early French, like from Joe Dassin, Edith Piaf, Dalida, straight into Italian classics like Mina Mazzini, Mia Martini, and so heavy Italian classical influences, and then you throw in ABBA, you throw in Aqua, you throw in Bowie, you throw a little Benny Benassi in there, you throw a lot of Stromae in there. Those artists are ones that I really keep on a very high pedestal sonically, and also just the integrity of their music is something I really strive to be next to. So thank you for keeping those in mind and hearing those in my music. That's lovely. Thank you.
And it's amazing, right? So like, I've been a fan of yours. So like, I've got a playlist on Spotify called Hot Airwaves, which is essentially records that I put on when I need to feel like pre-drinks on a Friday night before going out, even if it's like 4 a.m. on a Tuesday and I'm struggling to get up for work for the radio show. And absolutely on that playlist is Mommy and also Kick the Door and Give It. I love those records. So thank you for them. I actually wanted to ask you, because you've got such an interesting upbringing and you also very, very often create music in multiple languages. So not only with French lyrics or Italian lyrics, but with Kick the Door and Give It, you're using English and other European languages on one record. Is that a strategic decision as a pop star to hit as many different markets as possible? Or is that just languages bouncing around in your head, finding the perfect lyric to express what you want to say?
I think everything is made super intentionally, but for me, intent comes from like the integrity of the music. And because all the music I listen to is usually in English, French, or Italian, and that's what we speak at home, it comes out in the music. And I love that it can reach so many different audiences. You know what I mean? That means the world. Because the whole point is like right now we're doing an interview in South Africa. I love that. I'm in Montreal. You're hearing my music. It's just being able to spread that everywhere. That is always the intent of reaching the most people as possible, but lyrically, that just comes from the heart, because otherwise I'd be, singing in Spanish. I'm not there yet because I don't speak it fluently yet. But yeah,
for sure.
Yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I got you.
So what's it like popping off in Europe first? Because you are of European descent, but you're obviously from Canada, and the North American dance music scene is a bit different in sound, I'd say, to the European music scene. Must have been quite a trip to go across Italy side and France side and discover the Bambola EP popping off.
Well, I actually licensed it to France first because I didn't think that it would be something that would necessarily catch right away in North America, because it was just so inherently European. So I brought it to a team out there that I knew would understand the references, and I'm so happy that we got to get it into as many ears as possible that way, and then it kind of caught. So it was really like an honor for people to be listening around the world. Like seeing that, I'm telling you, it warms my heart. I don't know if this is an audio or just audio or here, but I'm like, my heart is like whoosh, explosive when it means
well, I'm extremely delighted. And now on 5FM down in South Africa, we've got Girls on High Rotation. It's a wonderful record. And of course, it's a great dance record. But what I found really, really interesting in lots of your music is that some of it is just hardcore, feel-good, sexy, flirtatious dance music. But some of the other records, like Cry, for example, you're really wrestling with some heavy feelings and some difficult emotions, even on incredibly infectious dance music. And with Girls, I guess it's quite similar, because it's a very, very powerful message. It's a message about discovering that, in your case, the singer is attracted to people that most of the world would find unusual in a heteronormative, cis-dominated world. And so it's an extremely powerful message, because in the lyrics, through all those swear words that we've bleeped out, you're like almost panicking. because you're discovering, oh, I'm going to say, damn, I'm attracted to girls and I'm not supposed to be, or at least most people who I've grown up with around would treat that as unusual. What is my mother going to say? How do I feel about this? And it's so wonderful to have a record that's kind of exploring that moment of sexual discovery and then nervousness about your discovery of self. Like, do you feel that about how significant this song is?
Oh, you are just so, I'm just pinching your cheeks through here. Well, you know, the song, I don't know if you know what the song was about. It's about me growing up. I gave my mom a little bit of a letter. I was very, very young. I printed it on the computer. We got a printer, and I slid it under the door. I was holding onto the door handle, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to get kicked out today, or I'm going to get, you know, I'm going to be like a child. I'm just going to be kicked out of my house, because the letter was essentially, hi, Mom. FYI, I have a bit of a crush on like Frankenfurter of Rocky Horror, Princess Diana.
Amazing.
Like a melange here, and I know that that might be hard for you in the future. So let me know if you want me to move out. I think I was like, I don't know, 7, 8. Like, who does that? But that fear was there, and it was more for them. I was holding on to so much of that on my shoulders for them. But having a song like this, I'm so happy that that translated with the lyrics of "Shoot, I'm in love with," you know, that apprehension. But then, as the song goes towards the end, it is essentially a celebration, because inherently, you know, we need to celebrate ourselves. And if anyone gets that from listening to it, I also hope that it makes some listeners almost uncomfortable, that they need to search the story and they need to, you know, realize like that there's a story behind this. And I mean, that's how I feel about it. Was that the question? Was that the answer of the question?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And it's funny because I think I read that you said about the song that you wish that you'd had a song to hear like this when you were younger. Yeah. And it's funny because
I girl and I liked it, and that's a great song for the time that it was. But I feel like a lot of songs after that were more of like shock factor for an audience, or like, ooh, look what it's like, no, it's not honest. It's not as honest as these beautiful love songs that we have out, as these celebratory songs. I'm like, why don't they have that? Like, where's the gay Dalida? Where's the gay Madonna? Sure. Where's the gay Cher? They have that. They support the LGBTQ community. That's fine. But I'm like, well, where's the glittery one? I'm like, excuse me. Hi. Hello.
That's amazing. And it's funny because so firstly, I was raised on Will and Grace and Rocky Horror Picture Show. So it's just funny to me how often I would discover that people didn't know the time warp when I led it at karaoke at university at this horrible dive bar called Champs Action Bar in rural South Africa. We would do it at midnight on a Wednesday night. And it was so funny to me because then people would go and watch Rocky Horror, and suddenly they'd have to reckon with this movie, which was saying, guys, sexual attraction could go in any direction. Bodies are bodies and beauty is beauty. From this song. And I just wish that, like, it has become a timeless cult classic, but I feel like it should be in schools. Like,
didn't have to do a time warp in order to have that message. Where's the new one? Right? That's how I
Absolutely.
feel. And hopefully it's not a step to the right. I'm hoping it's like a massive leap, you know? And I'm
Absolutely.
hoping the song helps that a little bit.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're exactly right. Like, I think about one of the greatest love songs of all time, Tevin Campbell's Can We Talk, came out in 1993. And Tevin Campbell had to specifically choose ambiguous pronouns and words for this lover to hide the fact that he was singing about a man. And many years later became open about it, but still would allude to a woman muse. And I hope that with this wave of music happening now, people are more comfortable embracing queerness and gender fluidity and sexual fluidity on this wave of like really interesting investigations into same-sex or same-gender love. It's beautiful.
I mean, you can do that with the whole Dusty Springfield catalog, change all the pronouns, and it's like, there's the honest music.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Betta Lemme, it's such a pleasure to chat to you. Tell us about the EP that's coming. I'm so excited to hear about it.
Oh my goodness. To be honest, it's going to be as much a surprise to me as it probably will be to you, because we're still finalizing everything. I'm hoping everything that I put in there stays on there, and it should be lovely, and I do hope you enjoy it.
Well, we definitely will, and that sounds like the best cliffhanger of all, because no information but max excitement, which is great.
So much.
How is it in Canada at the moment? Are you getting back to performing? Have you missed it?
Pardon? Can you repeat that?
How is it in Canada at the moment? Are you getting back to performing? You must have missed it so much.
You know what? Believe it or not, I actually haven't played my own show yet. I've released all of my music, and I'm waiting to have a body of work. And as soon as this calms down a bit, state of the world with the virus and such, when everyone's safe and we're in a safe place to do so again, the show is gonna be so much fun, and I will see you there.
Well, listen, if you don't come to South Africa, I'll be very touched. So there's that. But you should definitely come down. 5FM would love to have you. Girls from Betta Lemme is on all the highest rotations across the station, which means across the nation, because it's an absolute banger. And we love the song as well as the message. Thank you so much for your time. And when we are in North America or Europe next, we'll be sure to be coming to your shows. But you should come to South Africa for sure, because we'd love to have you.
I got you, darling. Thank you so much for supporting this track. Thank you.